What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. Coming to you guys today, pretty much giving you guys like my recap of the night 2 of the draft and everything like that. We already did the night 1 recap and everything as far as the picks went. And I already talked about like how I felt about the draft, and honestly, night 2 kind of felt the same. Is where I really felt like it was a letdown only because I feel like they weren't really using a lot of the people that were in NXT. I understand that they don't want to gut NXT of a lot of the people like they did like a couple of years ago. So I do understand that, but at the same time, it kind of felt like they kind of gave false advertisement because you said that NXT was going to be featured, heavily in the draft. And yes, they did have some more picks that did take place and everything like that. But at the same time, it felt like they didn't really capitalize on that, which I feel like they could have. But we're going to give you guys the recap on everybody who got picked on round 1 and some of the things that kind of took place. I'm not going to talk about too much. But round 1, we started off with the first pick, which for Raw, which was Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, remaining on Monday Night Raw. I do think this was a interesting move because I was thinking that they probably were going to drive them to SmackDown, but the more I thought about it, I felt like if Gunther is going to be on SmackDown, right? I feel like he's not gonna win the world title from Cody. I know that's kind of crazy when you think about it, but I just don't see Gunther beating Cody. I can see him going after the world title, but I don't think it's gonna be the one that Cody is holding at this current moment in time. So I feel like if they're going to put a world title like they want to, it's not gonna be on SmackDown. I feel like it's more suitable if you were to win his world championship on Raw. So I do understand that. And also Ludwig, you can honestly put him in the Intercontinental title scene to have them be like that mid-carder if you want to, which I will be interested in to see if what he can really bring to the mid-card title division, because he's proven that he can go in the ring on his own. So I would love to see them, continue to capitalize on that and see where they can go with it. But after that, SmackDown with their first pick of the first round, they announced that they will be picking up Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, remaining on SmackDown. She was signed to SmackDown a couple of months ago, and she is remaining on SmackDown and stuff like that. And then in round 1 for the third pick, Raw has selected Damage Control coming from SmackDown to Raw. So we got the first move from SmackDown or SmackDown or Raw or SmackDown, which was Damage Control. Now this one I think makes a lot of sense because they want more star power on Raw, and I feel like when you look at the current state of the Raw Women's division right now, they will definitely add some intrigue to it, especially with them being a faction, because there aren't really. It seems like if you really think about it, Raw is really faction heavy when you really think about it, because you have Judgment Day, you have some other picks that we'll be talking about. Well, I'll announce them now. Pretty much anyway, even though we'll get to them later. Because if you really think about it, Raw is, faction heavy, because you have, the Judgment Day there, you have Legado, you have LWO, you have Damage Control, you have a few of those factions there already. So it's already, seeming like it is faction heavy. Maybe I'm the only one that sees that. Comment down below, let me know. Do you guys feel like Raw is faction heavy with them having multiple factions over there on the Raw right now? And then we conclude the first round of the draft with Kevin Owens remaining on SmackDown. This one makes sense only because he is in the feud with the Bloodline, and he has a match coming up at Backlash, as he's teaming up with Randy Orton to go up against Tama Tonga and Solo. Keep be on the lookout for my predictions as well. That will be dropping maybe tomorrow and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. And that would make sense. And then we start off the first round, the second round, I would say. Raw has select CM Punk. CM Punk is remaining on Monday Night. Similar to like I said with Kevin Owens, he is in a feud right now. And I feel like if you put him on SmackDown and want him to go after a world title, I don't see him beating Cody. I don't. I don't see him beating Cody right now as champion. So him being on Raw makes a lot of sense. You have more time to kind of invest in that feud, because if you really think about it, SmackDown is really going to still be Bloodline heavy, because Bloodline is really going to be, when Roman does and Rock do come back into the fold, they are going to be taking a significant portion of SmackDown, because usually if you think about it, in the lead up to WrestleMania this year, they were at least taking up 40 minutes to an hour of the show. So it really left out a lot of people not being able to compete or have much to do. So this is a great move to have these stories that they want to invest in, have and be on Raw, so they can have more time to invest in these stories and having them continue to progress over time. The next pick for SmackDown has selected the Pride of Bobby Lashley, Street Profits, and B-Fab. They will be remaining on SmackDown. Um, Not too much to say about that. I mean, if they kind of do this with a lot of the couples, if you're in a relationship or something like that, they tend to want to keep you on the same brand as them and stuff like that. So I do think that is a great move. Next pick we have Braun Strowman being picked up by Monday Night Raw, and Braun Strowman did make an appearance and got into a little scuffle on Raw tonight with the Logan Paul stuff. And then to conclude the second round, SmackDown um has picked Tiffany Stratton. So Tiffany Stratton will be remaining on Friday nights. I do think this one is a better move because I feel like with the Raw division being like stacked right now, I think this is a great way to keep her on SmackDown and have more opportunities for her to thrive and do something really special. Because I do think she is going to be the one to ultimately defeat and take that title from Bayley at some point during this year. So I do see if they're going to do that. Because I think, for me personally, I'd see her winning Money in the Bank this year. I think that would be a great pick for me to have winning the Money in the Bank this year on the women's side of things, because she would definitely can run with it and definitely, revitalize that briefcase and maybe have like a legit run with the briefcase, which I'm very excited for. Um, Round three, we start off with Raw selecting Ray and LWO, and I told myself instantly when they had that, I said Dominic is somewhere punching the wall that Rey Mysterio, his father, is back on the same brand as him. And then they had like a little interaction throughout the show and stuff like that. And Ray was pretty much, and Dominic had that little back and forth, and Dominic was not having it. And then Ray said, you know, you haven't even been drafted yet, so you have no right to talk, pretty much. And and here's another thing I didn't. I see this on Twitter. I watched this Jey Uso segment, but I only seen Dominic. But then I went on Twitter and people were saying Liv Morgan was segment, so I had went back and I seen the segment, and both Liv Morgan and Dominic came out of the same room. So that is definitely going to be something interesting to see play over the next couple of weeks. So I'm very interested to see where this Dominic and Liv Morgan story go. And speaking of Liv Morgan, she did defeat Nia Jax later on the show, which was which was I was very excited for it. I think that's a great decision to have them do and have her beat Nia Jax, because now people can start to take her serious because she beat a big name and a big threat that would be against her going up against that champion for the championship. So and then she had a back and forth with Becky in the start of the show, and then she also pretty much was said you have your title shot after defeating Nia Jax. So we will have to see where she will get her title shot. Maybe you can build this between the two and have it go for King and Queen of the Ring. We will see, but who knows? Then after Ray and LWO have been picked up, SmackDown has select Legado del Fantasma, which is great because we need to keep LWO and Legado separate. We don't need these two going up at each other anymore. No, 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 nope. Uh, Raw then selects Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre, him and Punk had a great segment. They had one of the better segments, I would say, on Raw last night and everything like that. And, Drew pretty much trying to go find Punk in the skybox, and he gets there, he's not even there, and then his entrance music hits again, and he's headed out to the ring, so that was kind of cool. And everything like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to their feud. I mean, they're both kind of still technically injured, so they're not really doing too much. They're doing they're still heavily, this feud is definitely heating up, and it's continued to heat up as the weeks progress. And I do think at some point we will see these two clash. Maybe they can do these two at Clash of the Castle, possibly. I wouldn't even be surprised if they were to do maybe what was it? What's the pay per view? maybe SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam they could do it. We'll see. But we know who knows. We don't know. And then Drew was pretty much upset that he was like being he wasn't even above Punk. And this is really adding more heat to the story and stuff like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Then you have SmackDown with the final pick of the third round. Shinsuke being moved over from Raw to SmackDown. So we have another move and everything like that. And also, so at this point we already have one, two, three, four. No. It's three. Yeah, four. There's four at this point in round three because we had Damage Control move from SmackDown to Raw. We've had Strowman move from SmackDown to Raw. We've had LWO move from SmackDown to Raw. And we had Shinsuke move from Raw to SmackDown. So we've had at least, we already off to a better start than we were technically than for night one. And then round four, we kick off with Raw selecting the Judgment Day. So the Judgment Day will remain on Monday nights, which is a great move for numerous reasons. Because you have the Damian Priest story that they're going to be telling between him and Judgment Day. You have the Rhea Ripley stuff when she comes back. You have the Dominic and Liv stuff going on. So you have numerous stories going on. At least like pretty much 3 stories with the Judgment Day and other people going on right now. So this is definitely a great move to keep them on Raw. And SmackDown has selected Naomi for their second pick of the 4th round. So now she will be remaining on SmackDown with Jade and Bianca and stuff like that. And then the next pick, Raw has selected from NXT, the first NXT call-up from the draft, Ilya Dragunov. And this one, it makes all the sense in the world. You have Ilya Dragunov on Raw with some heavy hitters because you have that feud between him and Chad. That's a great match you can have with those two. Easily. You can't tell me that Ilya Dragunov and Chad Gable won't be a great match. You can't tell me that. Another match that is taking place, another match that you can actually put up for Ilya Dragunov versus Seth Rollins when he's healthy. I think that would be a great match. You got Ilya, when they have him and Gunther go at it, that is going to feed families. Like their matches have always been, top tier matches. If you don't believe me, go back and watch their match that they had for the NXT UK title during the pandemic and stuff like that. And then for SmackDown, the final pick for the 4th round, SmackDown has selected Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, so they are moving from Raw to SmackDown. Then we kick off the 5th round. We have Ross picking up the New Day. The New Day will be remaining on Monday nights. Then the second pick of the 5th round, we've had SmackDown has selected, and remaining on SmackDown, Pretty Deadly. I thought they were going to Raw because I felt like they weren't really doing much with them on SmackDown, and this would have been a great way to kind of have them do something and be more featured, especially for the tag titles and stuff like that. So it was kind of one of those things, but hopefully they do something with them. Then for the 3rd pick of the 5th round, another NXT call-up from NXT, Raw has selected Lyra Valkyria. So now we have Ilya and Lyra Valkyria, 2 former champions in NXT, which will be a great match because you have Lyra on there with Becky, you have her on there with Rhea, you have her on there with Liv, you have some great matches in the wings to do, and she can definitely go. I think she is definitely going to be one of those women to be on the lookout for in the near future, especially with Raw and everything like that. So hopefully they do something with her and she can have like a great run on Raw and stuff like that. And this just goes to show you how more and more stacked the women's division is getting as the weeks progress. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then the 5th pick, the last pick of the 5th round, SmackDown has selected Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell going from Raw to SmackDown. And then we start off the 6th round. Raw has selected the final testament of Karrion Kross, AOP, and Scarlett. So they will be moving from SmackDown to Raw. Next pick, moving from Raw to SmackDown, DIY of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So this is definitely going to be something interesting because now you have pretty much technically the way back together because you have Johnny, you have Austin Theory, you have Indy, and you have Candice. And now you probably can add in Tommaso and Grayson. That's going to be a great faction. But the only thing is, how will they go about doing that? Only because two of the people that are in that faction potentially, if they decide to do that, are both two tag teams. And I don't know how they're going to do that. So we will have to see. Then Raw has selected, remaining on Monday Night Raw, Bronson Reed. Definitely think that this was a great move for them because now he can definitely do something because he's definitely in that Intercontinental title scene. So definitely a great shouting for him. And then the final pick of the 6th round from NXT, SmackDown has selected Blair Davenport. And this was one I was hoping since night 1 because she's definitely somebody that I thought should have been on the main roster because I feel like there's really not much for her to do in NXT. There's really not because it's like I feel like they could have put the title on her, but they never did. So I feel like if they're not gonna put the title on her, why not just put on SmackDown and Raw? And she could definitely do some great stuff because she's gonna be on there with some heavy hitters and stuff like that. Then we get to like the ones that happen on Raw, on Raw Talk and everything like that. So all these that are be happening are going to be from Raw Talk. So these weren't on TV. So Raw has selected the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. Makes all the sense in the world considering what they're going to be doing potentially in the next couple of weeks with Chad Gable probably getting the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile to align with him. And then they become like a new faction and stuff like that. So we will see how that goes. And then after that, from SmackDown has selected, after being kicked out of Imperium last week, Giovanni Vinci will be moving from Raw to SmackDown. We have another pick coming from SmackDown to Raw. New Cash Republic of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. So that's a great move for them because they have more time to kind of get featured and everything like that. And then SmackDown has selected from Monday Night Raw, Tegan Knox will be moving from Raw to SmackDown. So that team that they were doing with Tegan and Natalia, that's not going to happen anymore. Then we get to the final few picks of the WWE draft. Raw has selected from NXT Dijak. I'm so glad that they pulled the trigger on this one. This one, I feel like needed to happen. Hopefully they get it right with him because he will be a great addition to Monday Night Raw, especially for that Intercontinental title scene. Him versus Sammy, banger. Him versus Sheamus, banger. Him versus Braun Breaker, banger. Him versus Bronson Reed, banger. Him versus Chad Gable, banger. Like, Ilya Dragunov, Gunther, all bangers, bro. So I'm very excited for him being on Raw, and hopefully they do pull the trigger on him and do something great with him. And then moving from Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown has selected Apollo Crews, so he is moving from Raw to SmackDown. And the next pick remaining on Monday Night Raw, Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. And then there are no more SmackDown picks and stuff like that. So Raw has selected Odyssey Jones, and also Raw has selected Natalia, and those are the people that were picked for the draft. I think that is everybody that was picked. So if I did miss anybody, let me know in the comment section down below. But overall, I feel like they did better with the NXT call-ups, I would say, on night 2 than they did for night 1. And stuff like that. So hopefully these people that they did call up do find their footing on the main roster and they are used in a prominent role. I don't want to see, these NXT callers be called up and they have nothing for them and no plans in place for them. So hopefully they do something, interesting with them, or try to do something interesting with these men and women and stuff like that. But comment down below. Let me know, what did you guys think of night 2 of the draft? Were you guys let down? Were you guys not really into? Did you guys like it? Who was your favorite pick on night 2? Leave it down in the comment section down below. We're on the road to 200 subscribers, but the ultimate goal is 10K by the end of this year. Like when I said in my previous videos, Super kick that like button, Superman punch that post notification bell, and spear that subscribe button. Once I do get to 10K, I will be doing a giveaway where one of you lucky fans will have the opportunity to win a championship from WWE Shop. So if you guys want the opportunity to win a WWE championship from WWE Shop, go subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free. You can always change your mind in the future, but why would you want to do that? I'm pretty much trying to give you guys daily wrestling content. So please do that for me. It takes 3 seconds out of your day to subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell so every time I post a new video, whether it's a reaction video, rant video, live stream, any type of video, you can be in a loop of things when I do drop a video. And hit that like button because it helps my channel get pushed across the platform. And stuff like that, so more people can see what I'm doing over here on YouTube and stuff like that. So please go do those 3 things for me today, especially if you are a wrestling fan. If you come across this channel and you are a wrestling fan and you're looking for a channel, this is the place for you. This is a safe space. We can talk about anything that are going on in the wrestling world and stuff like that. So this is the channel for you. So please go do those things for me. I really appreciate it. But that is the end of the video, guys. I hope everybody has a great day and a great week. Like I said, predictions for Backlash will be coming later this week, so be on the lookout for that. I do have an unboxing. Part 1 of my WWE Shop unboxing coming this week because some of the stuff didn't come in. So I will be doing that as well. And yeah, but that is the end of the video. I hope you guys have a great day, have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.